Be up, guys. Be up, guys. Well, to this, the buzz still buzzing. My second show of the week here, obviously the buzz. I'm doing this obviously every week now. Hopefully, if I can, if there's time, and there is at the moment, so that's good. It'll either be obviously Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, mainly end of the week anyway. So I decided I had time to do it today. So I'm doing it today, guys, anyway. But yeah, we got plenty to get through here because obviously there's all Champions League action and Europa League and Conference League, of course, in the week. In this week, just gone, 2 or 3 days have just gone. It's all gone, as usual, quickly. And plenty of football to catch up with. But it'll only be the British teams. I'm obviously not going through them all because it'll take forever if I go through the whole lot. So it'll only be the British teams, of course, and then obviously Premiership as well. So we've got to preview tomorrow's games, weekend games, of course. Yeah, I'll just have a quick look at this comment. Here's Warren. Yeah, it's you, Warren. I'll see you there. Wait, mate. I'll bring you on very soon. Getting Mr. B. Yeah, no worries, buddy. And I've got 2 guests, of course, to come on. And we're better get into this, really, because otherwise the time will be gone again, as usual, like it usually does. Time waits for no man, basically, doesn't it? As we know. But anyway, I'll bring my guests on. And first of all, I'll bring on Manny's waiting patiently. Be up to you, Mr. T. Apologies. Obviously having trouble with the Wi-Fi again as well. So if anything happens while it's going on, major apologies for that. Are you all right?
Yeah, can't complain. Big up to you for hosting as always, and good to be here to talk about some good European action. And well done for limiting it to only the British teams. Otherwise, as you said, we would be here pretty much all afternoon. But a lot of good stuff to talk forward to it.
Yeah, it'll be all over the weekend as well. I'd still be doing it. So, really, no, it's good that I'm doing it now. And then I'll bring my other guest on, of course, and that is Warren. Be up to you, buddy. How you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, cool, mate. Cool. Yeah, how you getting on? You having a good day? You both of you having a good day or enjoying
It's been busy, man. It's been busy. I just had a visitor and they've only just left. So, yeah, it's been a bit crazy, all said and done. But I'm here and I'm raring to go, mate.
Yeah, it's good, mate. That's what I like to hear because we have got a lot to get through, obviously. And I've got to have the time again today, guys. So it's going to be, going to be quick,
Exactly. Countdown time. Quick and snappy and to the point.
Yeah, countdown time. That's what it'd be.
Exactly.
Ding! That clock. But I wish I had that clock, actually. I'd love that countdown clock. That'd be brilliant for this. But no. But anyway.
Yeah, the problem is you can't use the theme music, otherwise you get copyrighted, Steve.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, got to be careful, haven't I? Yeah, but we're also going to go to the first game and obviously in the Champions League, and that was Liverpool. And I'll just bring that up in a minute, as I'm just getting to the page now. Sorry, it's all a bit slow because obviously the Wi-Fi is playing up. So, yeah, that's what always seems to happen, doesn't it? When you want to do these streams, the poxy Wi-Fi plays up. But here we go. I'm bringing this up, and there we go. PSG 0, Liverpool 1. A bit of a lucky one. I thought, there we go, Liverpool. Joey Liverpool again. I'll get in trouble for all this, saying all this again. They'll be on me back, the Liverpool fans. Going to have another go at me, but I don't give a shit. Well, you were quite lucky. It was all PSG, let's be honest. And I thought it was a bit smash and grab here, lads, to be honest. But who wants to go first with this one? Obviously, I'm going to do the timer. Whoever decides. Are we going to toss a coin or We're just
Well,
gonna.
let Manny go first because I ain't got much to say about it. But
Oh, okay, mate. Well, you can always share the time. If you ain't got much, you can finish at the end of whatever Manny finishes with you.
okay, well, let me go first then, and I'll just
Okay,
give
mate.
you my brief summary of it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Go
I
for
did
it.
start watching it,
Mm.
and I thought PSG were going to just wipe the floor with them
Yeah.
because the intensity and the pace that they played with, Liverpool just didn't seem to be able to cope with it, and they look, they got away with the goal that got disallowed. I'm still not quite sure how it was disallowed, to be frank. I know the fella was offside, and this brings up this debate about, what is and isn't offside. Like I've said before, I just think that they need to have a look at the rule about people being offside because, like, that fella looked like he was offside by half the width of a toe, and I just think that's crazy. It really is. I just think it needs to be clear daylight between the forward and the defender before it can be declared offside, right? Because it's getting beyond a joke, like some of these offside decisions. And I think if that goal had stood, I think it would have been a different game. Because I'm not convinced that PSG wouldn't have got a few more. And I like the look of the winger because he was just taking Liverpool to the cleaners and the striker. But on reflection, the finishing, like you have 6 shots on target and not one of them goes in. I know that Alisson had a masterclass and he underlined why he's probably the best goalkeeper in the world at this moment in time. So for me, it was a bit of a George Graham masterclass. Or some people would refer to it as that. I wouldn't, because George Graham's sides would go and beat time at their peak. They would beat sides 3s and 4s. I've been there at the games and seen it. But it was a defensive masterclass, albeit the PSG had 6 shots on target. But fair play to Liverpool. They did really well to stay in the game because another team, I think, may have capitulated and they could have been on the end of a hiding. But they got the win. They got taken back to Anfield now. I don't think the tie's over by any stretch of the imagination, because I think PSG could still cause problems for them at Anfield after what I saw the other night. And their manager, the PSG manager, is proven again that he's top drawer. I'd take him at Arsenal in a heartbeat, mate, 100%. Yeah, but the one that I really want, we'll be talking about later. So there you go. That's all I've got to say about it, mate. Sorry, but
that's all right. Well, Manny's obviously gone. I don't know what's happened, where he's gone. But if you want to carry on, mate, anything more? Oh, he's back. But
let Manny have the time if he's back. If he's back, let Manny have that time.
Yeah, he's back.
Well, if you want it.
No, go on, Manny. I can always do the timer a little bit again after this, but I won't have it too long. Yeah, keep going, mate. Whatever you got to say, Manny?
Yeah. Well, obviously, I had to because of the timer issue, the audio issue. But I mean, it was really more of a goalkeeping masterclass more than anything else because Andrew Robertson was literally being skinned down the right. It was really shocking to see the PSG right winger just go past him on more than a few occasions, and it was really Alisson who saved them. But more often than not, I think PSG obviously was taking everything on attack, and they were just trying their best to make sure that they could get something, and they'd always leave themselves vulnerable on the counter-attack. And big up to Harvey Elliott. that's how you put the impact in impact sub. Nothing much more can be said about that. And also, as far as the offside is concerned, I understand Warren's frustrations, but there is an idea that when you do go at even marginally offside, you will be seen to be taking an advantage there. And what's good about VAR adjudicating these types of decisions is that at least there is some guidelines there that if you are seen to be a little bit beyond the line, you are in a good position to take an unfair advantage of that. So that is probably what they're doing with it. A lot of people will disagree with it. I know that Arsene Wenger said that there has to be clear daylight, but the thing is, if there is clear daylight more often than not, you wouldn't have a need for VAR. So that goal by Kvaratskhelia, I think it was rightly.
Sorry, Manny, I don't mean to interrupt you, but this is the thing. The game is supposed to be for humans, not robots and computers, right? So, yeah, I'm sorry. I just think that VAR is taking it to ridiculous extremes. But sorry, go on. You carry on, mate. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, go and carry on, Manny.
That's all right. And thank you very much indeed for your input. And it also has to be said that PSG have recovered well, after a period where, even our Arsenal pretty much put them to the sword in the group stages, and it was thought that they wouldn't go to the knockouts, but somehow they did. And obviously they've been trying to make up for, I'm quite glad that Liverpool have earned this smash and grab win, and now they put themselves in a big advantage in the return leg at Anfield. It also must be said, and I think it was mentioned, that, with Mohamed Salah, fasting for Ramadan, all of these, ramifications of how fasting will affect your performance on the field, I think those are going to be tested for a lot of the Muslim players, but I also commend UEFA for that. And it was a rare off game, really, for the Egyptian wizard, and I think, the fact that Liverpool came out with the win, sometimes, you have to sort of win ugly, but nobody's calling it the stuff of champions just yet. There's still one leg to play, and interesting quarterfinal, meaning that there will be an English semi-finalist. So that is something to which I am definitely looking forward.
Yep.
But after this season, I think we can all agree that Liverpool need a little bit of a clear out. Some of these players are clearly, just past it, I would say.
Definitely. But yeah, as you say, I thought
I'll clear out for a little bit, but I'll come back. Audio again.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I thought Salah was off the boil. That might have been to do with that, as what Manny just said there about the Ramadan thing. It might be that. But that was one of his worst games I've seen for a while, Salah, wasn't it? He didn't turn up, basically. But then again, it didn't matter in the end. So, they won. Okay, you could say 1 ugly, 1-0. It's a win, isn't it, I suppose? But they got, they're a bit home next, so I think, I think they could add to that, maybe. But I think PSG are a great side. I don't know how they didn't score any goals here, Warren. I don't know. I don't know how they didn't score. Well, they was all over Liverpool, weren't they? All over.
Yeah, I think it's down to Alisson. Like, if that had been any other goalkeeper, I reckon they would have got at least 2 or 3.
He had a great game.
He did have a great game. And again, like I said earlier, it just underlined why it is that he is the world's #1 goalkeeper at the minute. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's clear for anyone to see that he is top quality. And I honestly can't think of anyone who's better, to be frank. So, yeah, it was a great performance from him. And he kept Liverpool in the game, because if it hadn't have been for him, it could have been a really tricky night for Liverpool. And even that being said, if that goal had been allowed to stand, then, it would have been a difficult night for her. I'm convinced that they may have gone and got another 2 or 3.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. They didn't get one, really,
No.
let alone 2 or 3. How they didn't score one? I don't know. But they was all over Liverpool. But as you say, goalie was superb. I actually thought defence was quite good. Alexander-Arnold, for a change, was quite good at the back.
Yeah.
He's generally a defender, I don't think, but he had a great game.
Yeah,
So,
100%, mate.
you know, they needed to because they was all over him. But we'll get to one that wasn't so close. Now we move on, and it's to this one. Yeah. So which one of you chaps is going to go talk about this one that's pretty much all over?
Well, since Warren, I think I'll take this one, Steve. And first of all, I think Warren can agree with me that, you know, Eva Perez well and truly back in the box and also completely in the mud. But we also need to put things in perspective and say that there are some moments and can sort of on which the game can hinge. You know how a pendulum swings and so forth. For the PSG Liverpool game, it was probably that disallowed goal by Kvaratskhelia. And again, what a purchase he was. We should have gone in for him, but instead PSG got him. But similarly, in the first half, in as much as we were, you know, literally ripping their defense apart, they were also proving to be very sharp on the counter. And had Saibari scored that goal, which, you know, came after Raya sort of fumbled it into his path, really, it has to be said, it would have been 1-0 to PSV, and who knows how the game would have gone. But then, credit to the boys, I think it spurred them into action, and then they just completely, you know, ripped PSV a new one. 3 goals, almost unanswered. And for practically all of those goals, it has to be said that the defending was completely, you know, dire in many ways. We did have a bozo moment of our own, though, when Thomas Partey gave away that penalty, and it gave PSV a little bit of hope. But credit to us as we started the second half the way we did the third, and then, you know, when we made 5-1, it was out of sight, literally. And the 7th goal's pretty much, you know, put the icing on the cake and the cherry on top of it, respectively. And, you know, the PSV fans, many of them had seen enough, and many of them were walking away. And you almost had to feel for Peter Bosch. His team selections completely blew up in his face. So another English team almost certainly through to the quarterfinals. I cannot see us blowing a 6-goal lead. But what angers me, and I think Warren will agree with me, is the reaction of these tuners who are now saying, bring on Real Madrid. We don't fear anyone. We deserve a lot of credit for scoring a striker. And yet when we come up short against these bigger teams, we bemoan the lack of a striker. As we would say in England, these fans want the penny and the bun. They don't want to concede anything, you see. I'm just happy with the performance, and I'm happy that, you know, we've taken a big step through to the quarterfinals. But I don't want people to get any stupid ideas that we could end up going all the way and completely beating either Real or Atletico and actually debating on which team would be better. No, we still have a second leg to negotiate at the Emirates for what it's worth. Let's make sure that we, you know, don't do anything silly. Let's take pride in the performance, but many have been the times when we'd have some great performances over the years. 5-1 against Inter Milan at the San Siro in 2003, 2004. Beating Real Madrid at the Bernabeu in 2005, 2006. Winning against AC Milan at the San Siro in 2007, 2008, and quite a few more. And on all those occasions, we came up short. So let's get some perspective and, you know, be respectful of the journey and the obstacles, and just keep your feet on the ground. It's as simple as that. Because as I've told you, Steve, every time you end up saying, I am invincible, you know, a container of liquid nitrogen can explode and freeze you into an ice lolly. And that's why you've always got to be humble and always keep yourself grounded. Am I not right?
Yeah, you're right there, mate. Yeah. Yeah, be up to you, Luca. He's in here, of course. Be up to you.
Now, Warren can say what he wants to say, and once again, I'll have to, come back in a minute.
Yeah, okay, mate. Yeah, go on. Yeah, go on, Warren. We can always reset the timer a bit. You carry on. Yeah.
Go on. Sorry, Mr. B. Go on. What was you going to say?
No, go for it, mate. Go for it. Whatever you got to say, we'll keep the timer going. Don't worry. After this.
Well, 7-1 on the face of it looks an impressive performance. It really does. You can't argue with a scoreline of 7-1, can you? Especially when it's away from home. And it is a big but, right? Beating PSV 7-1 and going to a European powerhouse, the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona, Inter Milan, AC Milan, Juve, Borussia Dortmund, Bayern Munich, and whatnot, or PSG for that matter.
Yeah.
And knocking a team like that out, that's a different kettle of fish altogether.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
And this team has got form for like turning up and smashing teams who they should be. Like they've done it a few times against West Ham. Like that game at the London Stadium when they won, was it 6-1 or 7-1? Didn't mean that they then went on and won the Premier League title. And I've got no doubt, whoever they play in the next round, that they will be going out, whether it be Atletico or Real. Because the thing is, Carlo Ancelotti is the most successful manager in European club competitions in recent history. His record is impeccable. It will stand head and shoulders above anyone else, any other manager record in the game. Right? Then we move on to Carlo Ancelotti, to Diego Simeone. Right?
Yeah.
His record. The man is tactically astute. He's light years ahead of Arteta. He will school Arteta, 100%. And I've got no doubt that Arsenal will come up short. If they somehow manage to get through either of those two matches, against either one of those two teams, I will be shocked. I really will. So that's all I've really got to say about it, to be honest.
Right, well, with the rest of this time, I'll have a chat about it. I just think you were all over them and just too good. I mean, it is strange, though. I always thought PSV were a top team. I remember them from years, well, not so long ago, that they were dominating sort of dominating in Europe at one stage. I thought they were a big team, and they looked poor. I thought they looked really poor in that first league. And, okay, Arsenal did perform well. I've got to say, you did perform well. It was good performance. But I don't think PSV were up to it. They looked well poor. And apparently they were doing so well over there and all in that league. So I'm a bit amazed how you totally annihilated them.
So to be sorry to interrupt you, mate, but
That's
to be
fine.
honest, like you mentioned about how they were like, in the recent past, they've been a top European outfit. How many European trophies have they won?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I know
that's my point. I don't think that they are. I think people are sort of bigging them up to be more than what they are, right? And
possibly. Yeah.
What annoys me about it is that Arsenal, just after within a couple of days of them, sorry.
No, we'll finish off, mate. Don't worry.
No, I was just going to say that within a couple of days of them recording that victory away in Eindhoven, they put the season ticket prices up. So they obviously were waiting for a good result to come through so that they could, sneak that in through the back door. And this is the sort of snidey, sort of wrong behaviour. There's a bunch of snides running that club. Do you know what I mean? And it is shocking behaviour. So yeah, but that's all I really want to say about it, because it's out of order. But congratulations to them. But I just don't see them going past Real Madrid or Atletico.
Well, no chance, mate. I mean, but this is well and truly over. I just hope it's not a negative, dull game. The second leg, I want you to go and get more goals, because otherwise it's not going to be entertaining for anyone, is it? You know, people going there watching it.
It'll either be a dull 0-0 or he put a load of kids in. I would prefer him to play a load of kids. Do you know what I mean? Like, give them a run out, let them see how they get on, and right, because they're not going to lose 6-0. Like, or 7-0 in order to knock them out. Just put some kids on the bench. Sorry, put the established stars on the bench. So if they start getting spanked, they can bring them on and just fucking stabilise the match. Just let some of the kids in the reserves have a run out. The game's done. The tie's done. There's no way that Arsenal will lose this tie. It's just not going to happen. Not with a 6-goal advantage from the first leg away from home. No, it's just play some kids. That's what I'd like to see. Get some kids from the youth team and give them a run out.
Do you think he'd do it though?
No, I don't. I think he'll play fringe squad players. You know, the likes of Kirior and Tierney and people like that. Do you know what I mean? Players that don't really get a lot of game time or opportunities. Or Tommy Yasu, if he happens to be fit by some miracle. He doesn't know. I heard someone saying the other day, Tierney's great, but he's made of glass. Well, people keep banging on about this man's injury record, but there's players at the club who've got a worse injury record than he has. Far worse. Tommy Yasu, Partey's playing too, right? And yet he gets tarred as being injury prone. The man's not injury prone. Fuck it. Honestly, it makes me really angry.
Well, Tierney was frozen out, basically. That's not the injuries. He was frozen out, wasn't he?
Yeah. I think that was all bullshit. I think that came from the club. I think he had a ruck with Arteta.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Well, he wouldn't even like he has rucks with people at the drop of a hat. You know,
he laid him out, didn't he? Didn't Tierney lay him out? I hope he did.
No, Aubameyang did. Aubameyang decked him because.
Oh yeah, yeah, nice one. Nice.
You know the story about what happened, do you?
I think you did tell me a bit before, but was it to do with his grandmother or somebody's relation, wasn't it? Who was dying?
His mum had a stroke, right?
Oh,
he was over in France looking after her, and he came back on time, but something happened. He didn't arrive back late, but he was told a time to come back, and he came back when he was told to come back. And Arteta went crazy at him, accusing him of letting him down and letting the club down and stuff like that. The man was looking after his mother, who'd had a stroke, right? And I'm going to tell you another story in a second. It's a very quick one, I promise. Right? Yeah. So there was a confrontation between the two of them, and Aubameyang decked him.
Yeah, now, good.
That fucking ridiculous situation that was completely unnecessary and could have been avoided, with how Alex Ferguson dealt with Cristiano Ronaldo when his dad was like on the verge of dying, right? Cristiano, I think he did die. No. And Cristiano Ronaldo went to see Fergie and said, boss, can I have Friday off? And Fergie said to him, why do you need Friday off? He said, because my dad's died. Right? Fergie said, of course, son, of course, take whatever time you need. Right? compare that with how Arteta handled that situation. It's night and day. This is the difference between a manager who knows what he's doing and a fucking arsehole who doesn't know how to treat people. That man should never ever be put in a situation where he's managing people.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? It's just the man has got no fucking cop on. He doesn't know how to manage people. He doesn't know how to talk to people. If it was me, I would have sacked him on the spot for that. What he did to Aubameyang is fucking disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. You do not treat people like that.
That's true, mate.
Fucking outrageous. And I'm telling you now, mate, if I ever meet that cunt, sorry about the language, mate, but I'm getting really angry. If I ever met him, I'd go for him.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm hoping I don't, because I would.
Glasgow kids.
I'm not saying I'd physically attack him, but I'd definitely verbally attack him, because I think the man is a piece of shit.
He is.
He's absolute scum. I'm telling you now, he's the worst manager in the history of Arsenal Football Club. And it's not just about the trophies. For me, it's about more than that. And I've gone on record of saying about why I believe that loads of times. So I'm not going to keep going into it, because I'm starting to get really angry and I'm taking up the time, mate. So
it's cool, mate.
It's not acceptable. And I'm sorry, it isn't.
Well, it's not. I know. I agree with you, mate. I feel your pain there. I feel your annoyance and frustration with him, and he's an arsehole.
The thing is, mate, I've been in position. I've worked in local government before, and I've had to manage people, and I've managed teams, right?
Yeah.
If I'd have behaved the way that man has done in any of those roles, I would have been sacked. I would have been given instant dismissal. Right? Because it's a football club, it's like no other profession in the world, no other profession in the world would he be able to get away with that. But the private sector, public sector, charitable sector, it would not be accepted. But because it's football, he's allowed to get away with it, and I think it's wrong. I 100% think it's wrong.
Yeah, I totally agree, mate. Totally agree. It's terrible. Are you got anything, a little bit to add to that, Manny, before we move on, or you want to talk about a little bit about that? You agree there? Agree with Warren?
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously Warren has said a lot of really insightful stuff, and I would agree, you know, that we should start playing. We should play some youngsters, but also let's not completely disrespect PSV, because you know that their manager will give them a kick up the backside. And of course, they do have a better European heritage than us. They were Europa League or UEFA Cup winners back in '78, and then '88, when Guus Hiddink was manager, they won the treble, the Eredivisie, the Dutch Cup, and also the European Cup. But obviously, those days, a lot of team in Holland, but the days of them going far into European competition, I think, are sort of gone behind them. But they still have a heritage, but we have to start, you know, living up to our status as a big club and doing a lot. And I can agree.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, that's dead and buried. They're through. Arsenal, let's be honest, no matter what happens there. Just briefly on the other one, I think Liverpool, PSG is still in that tie. The other one,
I think there seems to be problems with Steve's, or maybe it's mine. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, it might be yours, mate. But I think it's going all right on here. What I can see is it? Am I right here,
And
Warren?
once again, my audio's gone. If it happens again, I really don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah, okay, mate. No worries. Yeah, so I think the other one, I think the PSG is still in it, Warren, and Liverpool got to kill it off, that other one. So I don't know. I'm not sure they will. I think PSG will come back there, you know. If they play like that, although I think Liverpool could play better at home, wouldn't they? At Anfield.
So, wouldn't you?
Mm.
You know, it would be shocking for me to see them play that badly again.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? It just would. I was shocked actually how poor they were because they just didn't seem to be able to cope with it. They weren't able to get a foothold in the game. Do you know what I mean? Because you know sometimes when that happens, you think, right, okay, ride it out for 5-10 minutes and see if we can try and get a foothold in the game somehow. Do you know what I mean? But it just didn't happen. They just kept coming wave after wave after wave. You know, the goal was scored and then it got disallowed, and you thought, okay, they've rode their luck here, but how much longer is it going to be before they get another one? Do you know what I mean? I honestly thought, mate, they were going to be on the end of a spanking at that point. But they rode it out and, you know, they came away from a very tricky situation with a 1-0 win. So they must be absolutely delighted.
Yeah. It's still a little bit up in the air, though. If they get that one goal over there and get back in it, that could, you know, they could easily come back and win that. But
yeah, 100% they could. So this, you're 100% right when you say that the tide's not over, because it isn't. Liverpool need to go and finish the job and put in a proper performance.
Yeah, for sure. But we move on to this one now, and I think this is sort of still in the balance. They're only 2 goals behind. I rate Club Brugge, you know. I really do. I think they're a very good team. You said about that as well, didn't you, Warren? As well. Good team.
I remember seeing them at Celtic Park earlier this season, and I think it was a 0-0 draw, if I remember rightly. And they were very, very well organised defensively. And I have to say, I'm shocked that Villa won that game by 3-1.
Yeah.
Albeit they got a couple of goals. There was an own goal, a penalty and an own goal in the last 10 minutes. So, do you know what I mean? It's that sort of tells its own story, really. But
it's still not all over, though.
Side, mate, they're a good side, but you know, to go to Villa Park and win by 2 to take it to extra time, I just think that's too much to ask.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would say and all, but I'll just bring Manny back because he's back there now. And who wants to go on with this? Talk about this? I know Manny, like obviously Villa with Emmy, of course. Emmy was there, made 1 or 2 great saves again. Do you want to talk about this one, mate? First.
Oh yes, I do, Steve. Yes, I do. And one thing I will say about Alisson is that he actually put in performance of the Champions League, best goalkeeper of the Champions League. But I do remember a certain Mr. Martinez performing an masterclass Bayern in the stage. The night, 4 great saves, including 1 last-minute save, Harry Kane. You know, he's also got an 83% save percentage, probably one of the highest among the goalkeepers in the tournament. So I actually rate both Emmy and Alisson very highly, and I like both of them. And I'm not going to get into a debate with Warren about who's better. We don't have time for that. But Emmy obviously has a special place in my heart for his role in the FA Cup win, and I didn't want to see him leave. And ever since then, I've despised Arteta, especially given how he floundered the following season. Now, I remember seeing this game from the kickoff, and I remember that Bruges did beat Aston Villa in the group stage. It shouldn't have happened. I think Tyrone Mings had what was right as a moment of flatulence. You know what I'm talking about, Steve. But obviously, since then, Aston Villa made it a point to improve their squad in the January window, and the players they brought in, Sergio, Rashford, and everyone else have proven their quality. And Axel Disasi has been a good replacement for Diego Carlos, although he probably played the Bruges attacker onside, which led to Bruges' equaliser. And the thing about Aston Villa is they do have a tendency to be a little bit defensively weak, and their preference of playing a high line does leave them prone to being attacked on the counter. And they conceded a lot of goals. It has to help that many of their defenders have been injured for a long time. And obviously, you know, they've also had a difficult job trying to balance the Champions League and the FA Cup with the Premier League. But for what it's worth, they have a very good chance of making the FA Cup semi-finals and Champions League quarter-finals. A respective tie against Liverpool would be tasty. But the fact that they've come through this particular game in Belgium, I would expect to do the job at Villa Park, because they have a splendid record, of course, at Villa Park. They've been unbeaten this season in the Champions League. They've only lost one game in the Premiership, and of course, I think they did lose one game at home in the League Cup. But since then, Villa Park has literally been a fortress for them, and they should have enough about them to secure the tie. But I do agree that it's not going to be easy, and unless they maintain their defensive shape and concentration, they could concede a goal. But one thing that can be guaranteed with the way Asensio and Rashford and Rodgers, Watkins and company are playing, and the quality of Aston Villa's midfield, they will score goals. And I think I wouldn't say that they necessarily played that much better, but they had obviously a lot more quality coming off the bench. Emery was a little bit more proactive in making those substitutions, and they paid off. And I would expect Aston Villa to go through. And we have to give Aston Villa a great deal of credit. First European Cup competition for about 40 years, and they've acquitted themselves very well indeed. A lot of idiots predicted that they'd be whipping balls. And that's credit to Unai Emery for the job he's done, and we'll agree that he is a class manager. And if Aston Villa do win a trophy this season, then they can definitely pat themselves on the back for having had a fine season indeed. I'll be watching the second leg as well, and I will hope that they will do enough to go through. And I mean, just full steam ahead, really. And once you get to this stage, sometimes if you have good fortune going your way, you can win games, and that's the beauty of a competition like the European Cup or the Champions League, as it's now known. So, all's well that ends well. Can't complain.
Yeah, for sure. I think Villa, kind of in the driving seat, but I still think Bruges have still got a chance. Although, as Warren says, going to Villa Park, it will be tough. Will be tough for them. But I rate them. Very good team, Bruges. I remember going there on a mini cruise once with some lads, some other mates, and getting pissed, over there. Lovely, great place, in Belgium a few years back. Remember it well, that's a lovely, great place to go. Especially when you're ratted, when you're totally ratted. Three sheets to the wind or whatever, but it's it is, isn't it? So I don't know if you two lads have ever been, but I think it is great. Belgium.
There's nothing like being seven sails to the wind in Bruges, mate. I love Bruges. Yeah. I think it's a beautiful city. I love that big city square, and like Belgian beer, you can't beat it. Belgian chocolates are very nice too, and the women aren't too bad.
Yeah, all very tasty, mate. All of them. Yeah, but yeah. Oh God, mate. I know we're moving away a bit from the football here, but yeah, it was. I loved the time there. I'm going to go back there at some stage. I really am. I do love that place, and you see all the history, the war history there as well. What happened there?
I don't remember that. I think I was only there for a couple of hours. No, I went there overnight. That was right. We stayed in a hotel overnight, but we didn't really get to see that. And it was an interesting place, 100%. And I love the square. I just love Central European city squares. I just think they're wild. And there's a couple like I really like in Spain. There's one in Madrid I really like, and one in Seville as well. Plaza España. If you ever go to Seville, mate, for me, it's my favourite city in the whole world. Is Seville, mate? The place is just like wow. That Plaza de España. It was in the Star Wars film. I don't know if you're a Star Wars fan. Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, I love them. I love it. Yeah, Star Wars.
Yeah, there's a big square in the Attack of the Clones, and that's where it's filmed. It is wild. It really is beautiful. But anyway, it's talk about football, not Star Wars.
Yeah, I went to Estepona there. That's where I've been in Spain.
Yeah.
It's very nice there. It's really nice, but it is damn hot, isn't it? That's the only thing. And I went on the beach. I burnt my bloody feet when I went on the beach. It's fucking hot. Like the sand.
Yeah, the sand gets really hot in the hot weather, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, mate. It's but yeah, lovely part of the country. That is a lovely place, and Amsterdam as well. I went there while I was there as well. We all know what goes on there, but I think we better move on from that and and go on to I don't know if you two want to add any more to this, gents, or this game, or do you think it's still in the up in the air slightly? Do you think Bruges could come back or not? Either of you two?
No, I don't.
I think Bruges might score, but
yeah.
Go ahead, Warren.
I just think Bruges they're very defensively solid. Albeit they did ride their luck against Celtic at Celtic Park. And that's not me being biased because I'm a Celtic fan. But they did ride their luck. But they are very defensively strong. That's why I'm so surprised that Villa put 3 past them. You know? And they did get good results on their, in their league stage matches. So I don't know. I mean, you never know, but I doubt it will happen. I do. I just can't see it happening, mate. If I had to bet one way or the other, I'd say Bruges are going to go out.
Yeah, I think so, probably too. Villa all the way. Would you say that as well, Manny? Villa to get through there? Do you agree?
Oh, absolutely. They've got a splendid record at Villa Park, as I've said. As I said, Celtic Bruges might probably score, but Villa will go through. No issues about it. They've got a better squad. They just need to tighten up defensively because, if they play Liverpool or even PSG in the quarterfinals, it's going to be a shellacking.
Yeah, for sure. But we're going to another team here that are still in it, actually, and that's Spuds. I know either you two don't really like them, but I can't say I like Spuds either that much. I like the food, the Spuds, but not the team. But, because they've done us recently, of course, at fucking GTEC, and I hated them, how they beat us there. But anyway, they only 1-0 down, and it was an own goal, of course, on Bergvall. I think it's a decent player, actually. I think they've got 2 or 3 good players there, and especially Son, of course, and all that. But Spence probably as well, very good. But, it's still there, isn't it? It's still for the taking here. I think they could probably think Spuds are going to win it at home. 2 or 3 maybe, or something, or Outmore hold on, or get more. Who wants to go here first?
I will. I don't think this game is by any stretch of the imagination over and done with.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only 1 goal lead. I have to say that I do really like Ange. I think I like his passion and I like his honesty. as well, and it's refreshing. And I know you're not going to like what I'm going to say next, Steve, but he is typical Aussie.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He just says what he thinks, and that's something that they all seem to do. Do you know what I mean? They're not going to try and dress something up. But I don't know. The problem is with Spurs, you never know what you're going to get. You don't know. They might turn up and put in a 5-star performance, or they might just be absolutely dreadful. You never know. So they're just as likely to win that game 3 or 4 as losing 3 or 4. Do you know what I mean? It's just impossible to say. But I'd like to see Ange get through, but not because I like Spurs, but it's because I like Ange, right? Yeah. And I think the man deserves a bit more respect.
Yeah.
He's always won trophies wherever he's gone in his career, right? Yeah. And to do it at Celtic, right, isn't as easy as people think, because the big difference at Celtic to, Celtic and Rangers for that matter, than other clubs anywhere else, is that every time you play, you have to win. Draw is not acceptable, and you'll have fans on your back. It doesn't matter who you're playing or where you're playing them. If you don't win, you're going to have people on your back. They will not tolerate failure at all. People were getting on Brendan Rodgers' back last season when he only won a double. Do you know what I mean? And that level of intensity and demanding it, it's just crazy. It really is the level of you have to perform. You do, and the fact he was able to cope with that and deal with it, it's impressive, because a lot of people, when they come to Scotland, they find it difficult to cope with it because the intensity is just so much. Do you know what I mean? And particularly when they face off against each other. But every single week you have to win. There's 4 games in the season, in the league season, where they play each other, right? Yeah. If you win all those games, you're going to be champions. There's no doubt about it. But if you drop points in one and you're ahead, you could let the other team back into the title race. So the pressure is on every single week. And if you go somewhere, I don't know, Kilmarnock, right, and you drop points, it's a massive problem, right? Because if the other mob go and win, they're picking up ground on you where they weren't necessarily expecting to. You know, so it is a nightmare for people, and people just don't get it. And I admire Ange for what he did. I really do. So getting back to the match itself, I don't know, mate. It could go either way, because it's only a 1-0 lead they've got.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see.
So it's on a knife edge there, I think. I mean, you never know. I mean, because the Spurs can come back, you'd think they'd be better at home, Spurs, as well. You would say that, wouldn't you? Back at their own ground. Probably do something there. So if they say they win 3-0, they're through anyway. So, or even 2-0, something like that, you know. If they get another one over there, Outmore, you know, they're in trouble, Spurs, let's be honest. So, you know, they need to get some goals. They need to score. Whatever, they've got to score, haven't they, at home?
Yeah.
They've got to win. So, I
so
think
that's a big thing in Ange's favour, that at some point, Alkmaar, if it stays 0-0, they're going to have to come out.
Well, yeah. But they can easily try and hold on to it, can't they, as well? They could probably go for a 0-0 if they wanted to. and try and just defend it out more. So
Ange won't do that. He will not do that. I've never ever seen him go into a game trying to get a 0-0. He just won't. Yeah, that's not the way he plays.
not Spurs, Outmore, I think.
Oh, sorry, Alkmaar. Yeah, I got confused. I thought it was 1-0 to Spurs. No, Tottenham need to come out. They need to attack. So I don't know, man. I just don't.
Spurs have got to win, don't they? Basically,
huh?
Got to win, Spurs. They got to get some goals and probably not concede. Would be ideal.
Yeah.
But anyway, what do you got anything to say? Should we go to Manny? Have you got anything to say with this one, Manny? Do you want to talk about this one? Go into it.
Yeah, it's funny how Warren made the whole Spurs are like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get analogy there from Forrest Gump. Potentially could have been 3-0 had it not. Vicario made some impressive saves, and I think it's fair to say that his return to the Spurs starting lineup couldn't have come at a better time. Spurs have also, of course, been decimated by injuries as far as the eye can see, and Ange has, for the most part, had to piece the team together quite literally. Now, I'm with Warren on Ange. I do like him. I think he is, a pretty good bloke, and in as much as we might have enjoyed beating them at, the Tottenham Stadium last year, what I did not enjoy the sound of those morons, basically, they were, how do I put this? They were mocking a great deal and singing a stupid chant. Oh, Ange, are you listening to the song that we're singing? We're 20 in front, you fat Aussie bleep, walking in a Nickel Wonderland. How dare they? That is disgusting, sort of behavior. And, Steve-O, who was trying to laugh it off by saying, no, mate, he's an Aussie. We poke fun at his weight all the time. Is not really that big a deal. But, sometimes it's that lack of respect for your opponents that hurts you. And let's not forget that some fans were depending on these guys to do us a favour by beating Manchester City. The gall of these idiots. But to the match in itself, Spurs had a pretty poor game, it has to be said. I thought you thought that they would dominate the team in midfield, but they just weren't able to do that. And this is another example of how, a team that wins in the group stage against one opposition comes up against the same opposition and loses, because if we remember correctly, they beat Alkmaar, albeit by the tightest of margins at the Tottenham Stadium. I think it was 1-0 with a Richarlison penalty, if memory serves me right. Yeah, that's right. And so Spurs need to get out of their stupor, and they really need to start, having a tighter game plan. And the biggest reason why a lot of people despise Ange right now, a lot of Spurs fans are very much Ange out right now, is they don't like his lack of flexibility. And when they beat you lot at the G-Tech, and I'm sorry to have to mention this, Steve, they did so with a very un-Ange-like performance, it has to be said. And that was proof that when, Ange had to do so, he could be, he could change his tactics and become more flexible and become a little bit more pragmatic. And maybe that's a tribute to how well you lot were playing at the time. But for the most part, he just doesn't show flexibility. He's not always proactive with his substitutions, and that's why there are some results this watch that the fans can't stand. But I think my good friend Eugene and I will agree that Daniel Levy is the real reason why Spurs can't progress. We moan about the Cronkies, I call them the Crankies, but Levy is literally the Cronkies in excelsis, even worse. He treats the club like a glorified hedge fund or something like that. His main aim is making money and turning it into some sort of a real estate business conglomerate rather than focusing on the football, for Pete's sake. And that's what really irritates a lot of Spurs fans. I think Spurs also have done well in Europe at home, and I will back them to get the result they need. But if they don't shape up, then this could very well be a very embarrassing exit. And it's kind of nice to see Alkmaar break the trend of Dutch clubs coming up against English clubs because, coming up short. Because I think Feyenoord also played in the first leg with Robin van Persie managing them, and they came up short, albeit against Inter Milan. But at least there is some Dutch pride, and I think it's fair to say, given that Alkmaar is the cheese capital of the Netherlands, I think Spurs would say that they were very cheesy indeed, and they need to get out of that funk.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I think.
And once again, my cheesy audio is giving me problems. I think we have 1 or 2 matches left. I'll try and come back.
Okay, mate. Yeah, I think probably Spurs will come back here and win it. I would say. I can't. I would say I think they will because I think they're at home. I can't see them losing it somehow, but then again, you never know. And would we care if they did, Warren? That's what I want to know. But anyway,
it's funny. I'm listening to Manny just there going on about cheese, right? Yeah. One of my friends, is really good friends, he's a German lad, big Bayern Munich fan, and he refers to the Dutch as cheeseheads.
Yeah.
In German, it's Käsekopfer, right? So die Käsekopfer. That's what he refers to. He can't stand them, and he lives close to the Dutch border, and they do not get on at all. And he refers to them as the cheeseheads.
Well, it seems to get sick of cheese, isn't it? Let's be honest.
The thing is, and all of my mates, when I tell them this story, after I've told them the story, that's what they refer to him as well. Cheeseheads.
You call them Edam heads or something. Yeah. Call them Edam heads.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever. Do you know what I mean? Cheese triangle heads. Mozzarella heads.
Yeah. Well, that's Italian, but yeah. I know what you mean, but yeah. And we move on to this one, of course. Real Sociedad won, United won. Little bit lucky to get a draw. Were they United, do you think, or?
Mate, I have to be honest. I didn't see it, so. I don't know. I mean, I know this team has got some decent players because I know that Kieran Tierney was there for a while, and they've got some players that have been on the radar of some of Europe's top clubs. So I don't know. I think United probably going there and getting a draw is probably a good result, if I'm being honest. But. So I didn't see the game, so I don't know. All I've seen is the result, and it is a good result. Going away in Spain and drawing in a European club competition is a good result. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah, well, it's still in the balance, isn't it? At 1-1.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
I think United are back at home. They should win. Do you think Old Trafford? Probably should.
Don't know, when you think about the results they've had at home recently against other teams in the Premier League, who knows? They've gone out in the FA Cup. They got thumped. They've had some real heavy beatings at home. And then are they 15th in the league at the minute?
Like that, 15th, 14th, something like that. It's
you sort of above them, aren't you?
They're below us.
But their league form has been dreadful.
Yeah.
You just don't know. It's like Spurs. You just don't know what's going to happen. Because I can guarantee you something. This weekend, when they come and play Arsenal, they will turn up. 100%. They will turn up. And because they always do. Whenever they play Arsenal, they always turn up. And they always put in a really strong performance. So don't be surprised if this weekend they don't get a draw or turn Arsenal over, because it always happens when they play Arsenal. They could be playing absolutely dire. But when they play Arsenal, they play Liverpool or Man City, they will turn up 100%, and it'll be a difficult game for Arsenal. But what will happen in this second leg, God only knows.
Yeah, they have the added incentive when they play you lot, don't they? United.
Yeah, it's like we're a big rival to them.
Yeah. Anyway, Manny, do you want to chat about this one, mate? Did you see this one? Real Sociedad and United?
Well, because the Spurs Alkmaar game was going on, and I wanted to watch the game and hop on Eugen's channel for some halftime and full-time chats. He and I, obviously, pretty good mates, and I do enjoy going on his channel because we don't banter each other, we respect one another, and he loves having me on too. Just we support bitter rivals. One reason why you probably shouldn't be too fond of Real Sociedad is because we purchased a certain Mikel Merino from them, and Merino, was barely barely second choice over there last season. I think that goal he scored against Germany in the Euros pretty much punched us to come over to Arsenal. And let's not forget, he was also at Newcastle for a period before that. There's also been some talk about us possibly getting Martin Zubimendi. And of course, as Warren mentioned, Kieran Tierney spent a period there on loan, and he did play well in parts, but again, those injury issues with his hamstring really, caught up with him. But it was wonderful to see him enjoy his life over there. He loved the food especially, and I can even share a Guardian article with you talking about that. But I would agree for the most part that going to a Spanish club on your travels and getting a draw is definitely not a bad result. It is quite creditable. But the problem is, United's home form being what it is, they couldn't afford anything less than a win, because now they've literally got to try and raise their game against Real Sociedad, given that the Europa League, as with Spurs, is their only hope for silverware. Dumped out of both domestic cups, no chance of winning the Premiership, and all their eggs are in the Europa League basket. And for Ruben Amorim, he never ever should have walked away from his cushy, happy, comfortable position at Sporting Club de Portugal, where he was taking the club on the crest of a wave. They thrashed Manchester City, but then they completely capitulated after that. And now it just goes to show that not everything that glitters is gold. If anything, given the problems that are at Old Trafford, I mean, I wouldn't want to go there even if you paid me, for Pete's sake. I think United are going to look back, obviously, and say that once again their attack is pretty inspiring. They're depending on Bruno to get them the goals, and even defensively, they're not as solid as they need to be. And there is a lot of truth to what Warren says, that whenever it comes to Manchester United playing Arsenal at Old Trafford, we've seldom, if ever, had any joy against them. Obviously, 2002, when we won the league at Old Trafford, was a beautiful moment, and we've. But the only problem is our wonderful moments at Old Trafford have been few and far between, and we just know that United will somehow raise themselves for this game, as Warren has said. But as far as this game is concerned, if they don't raise their game, then they could very well be out. And there is a lot of talk about the possibility of actually relieving Amorim duties. It might sound stupid because, he's just come in, but the way things have declined over there, leaving them in an even worse position than at any time under Erik ten Hag, you just wonder if it really was worthwhile for him to come over there and whether there is a way out of the tunnel. And I just don't know if Amorim has really been able to get the respect of everyone in the squad, and certainly the Rashford issue will hang over him like a cloud. And Sociedad actually, can look forward to putting in a decent performance at Old Trafford. Could I back United to go through? Only on penalties. And I think United are going to have to play out of their skins at Old Trafford. And given their record this season, domestically and in Europe, it is not anything. It's not guaranteed at all. I think they've been unbeaten at home in Europe, but I really don't know if I can be that confident of United securing a win. And even if they do manage to win, who knows who they'll face in the next round?
Yeah, true. I just think I always thought it's a real poison chalice, that job at United. After Fergie, anyone taking it over then, it's always going to be tough for them. Even Moyes, it was hard for him. He didn't last there. In the end, Mourinho won at least a couple of things there, I believe. Mourinho. Who's the other guy? What's his name? The Dutch guy. Van Gaal. Yeah. Yeah, he won. Did he win something there? I think he won.
I think he won the FA Cup, didn't he?
Did he?
I really don't know, mate. I've got this idea in my head that he may have won the cup. I think Mourinho won a cup, didn't he?
I think he won a couple of trophies there.
Yeah.
Yes, he wrote and the league cup, I think.
But it's not an easy job, let's be honest. I mean, even Ten Hag won a couple of trophies. Well, a couple of FA Cups. Was it FA Cups? Yeah. So, yeah, but I don't know. Amorim's got a lot to live up to there, I think. It's going to be tough for him. But, yeah, I think 1-0, it's still in the melting pot. But maybe United might just edge it at home. Might just get through, I think, there. But we'll move on to one of Warren's favourite teams here. Rangers. Sorry, Warren. Sorry, buddy.
No, mate, you're fine. It's fine.
Cheeky, very cheeky.
Yeah. Fenerbahce 1, Rangers 3. And, yeah. Do you want to take this one away, Warren, or not? Really? No, you probably
This club,
yeah,
it is the embodiment of a schizophrenic club in every sense of the word, right? They go from losing at home in the Scottish Cup to Queen's Park and losing at home in the league to Motherwell to then going and knocking out Fenerbahce. Well, not knocking them out, but beating Fenerbahce in their own backyard by 3-1. Make it make sense. How on earth does that happen? It's just absolutely horrendous. I just do not understand how that can possibly happen. Losing at home to Queen's Park and Motherwell, and then going and beating Fenerbahce in their own backyard. And like Fenerbahce's ground is not the most welcoming place on the planet. I mean, let's be honest about it. Their fans are really vociferous and it's really hostile. Now, the thing is, obviously, Rangers, they would be used to playing in vociferous environments, with the old firm games. But that being said, it's still not difficult. It's still not an easy thing to have to go and play somewhere like that. Do you know what I mean? And the fact they come away with a 3-1 victory, although it pains me to say it, you have to commend them for it. But do I back them to go through? I'm not sure I can. I mean, I heard it this morning on the podcast and saying that I didn't realise this, that the Rangers had 2 goals disallowed. So it could have been 5. Do you know what I mean? And just like, I'm thinking, what the hell? So I don't know, mate. This club is unbelievable. It really is. And like, I don't know. Jose was talking it up, saying that he didn't think the tie was over, and I agree with him because it's only a 2-goal deficit. It's only half time. If they get an early goal, it's all back in the melting pot again. Do you know? But I do know one thing: that crowd at Ibrox, they're going to be absolutely bouncing for that second leg. They will be really loud and vociferous. But if Fenerbahce get an early goal and then they get another one, that crowd can turn really quickly, and it will be a very difficult evening for Barry Ferguson. If the crowd start turning on them, it could turn really nasty. Do you know what I mean? It really could, and I hope it does.
Yeah, you'd love them to go out, wouldn't you, Warren?
Because I don't want them seeing them like winning. I just can't. No, but yeah, it's going to be. It could be a difficult night, but there again, it could be. It's going to be interesting. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, there's a little bit of jealousy there. Do you think that they are through?
Not at all. Not at all. I'm not jealous. I just think
we're out Celtic and they're still in it. You know.
I just think that like I said, I just think they're a perfect example of a schizophrenic football club, because one hand you've got the performances domestically, which have been shocking, right? And then it'd be like Liverpool losing at home. Yeah, perfect example. Liverpool losing at home to Plymouth Argyle in the FA Cup, right? And then losing at home to Ipswich in the league, right? And then going and beating Real Madrid in their own backyard by 2 or 3-0. It just does not make any sense. Where has that come from? But they keep doing it. They keep putting in these really dreadful performances in the domestic competitions, and then going into Europe and putting in really good performances and getting really good results. I just don't understand it.
No, but they're still in it, and you're not, though, Warren. Let's put it that way. They're still in it.
I didn't hear what you said, mate. Sorry.
I said they're still in it, and you're not, mate. That's the thing.
No, that's true. Albeit it's a different competition.
You're going to win it. You're going to win the Scottish League. So who gives a shit, eh?
Yeah, exactly. We're going to win a domestic treble, and they ain't.
Exactly. Exactly. But so do you think that tie is it over or not? Do you think you hope it's not? Probably.
I don't think it is over, because like I said, I could see Fenerbahce getting it back. They're a good side. They've got really good players in that team, and it could turn. All it needs is Fenerbahce to score, like an early goal or some, halfway through the first half, and then it could just quickly turn. And if it goes to 3-3, you watch that crowd turn, because they will turn. I'm telling you, they will, because I've seen it. They will be on the players' backs. I don't think they will turn on Barry Ferguson, but they'll definitely turn, because the man is a legend at Ibrox.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, he was. They will turn on the players, 100%.
I don't think
there's a lot of players that can't handle playing in that environment, where, like I said to you before, you have to win. A draw is not acceptable. You have to win every single game. A lot of players, they can't cope with that pressure. And it's a big ground. Like, the stadium holds something like 60,000 or something, whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? And all those people bearing down on you and screaming and shouting and hollering at you, people can't handle it.
No.
But
yeah. Anyway, Manny, do you want anything you want to say about this game? Warren said his piece about it.
Yep. Before I do, let me just ask Warren a question. There was actually talk from Mourinho that maybe sometime in the future he'd manage a Scottish club. it could be Celtic or Rangers. So, Warren, just briefly, if you had a chance to have Mourinho at Celtic, would you take it?
No, not a chance.
You happy with Brendan?
Good.
Not Brendan.
Definitely not.
Indeed.
I just don't want that circus coming anywhere near Celtic. I don't. He's just no. Thanks very much.
Controversy.
No, thank you. Yeah, because listen, I've got a good mate of mine who happens to be from Glasgow. I've got a good mate of mine who happens to hail from Glasgow, Giffnock, which I don't know how far it is from Govan, for example. And he talked about how he loves, Mourinho being box office. And even after I told him about all his stupid antics, especially at Real Madrid, for example, he and another friend of mine with whom we talk a great deal about football, they just love Mourinho like crazy. And I remember him saying, he couldn't wait for the Fenerbahce Rangers first leg, saying that it would be a Mourinho masterclass. And my very first thing I did was, quote him on that and said, "Well, this aged well, didn't it, mate?" And he said, "Hey, I jinxed it." And sorry for that poor attempt at the Scottish brogue there. But I think I'm going to say this right now. The thing about Rangers is that of late they actually grown the UEFA Cup or the Europa League, and in recent years their results there has been very, very good indeed. If memory serves me right, I think they were runners-up to Eintracht Frankfurt a few seasons ago. And Ferguson himself was the Rangers captain when they lost to Dick Advocaat's Zenit St. Petersburg one time. Now, obviously, Ferguson Rangers legend, but I could never forgive or forget what he did. He and that other Alan McGregor did when they were on Scotland duty. He ended up never playing for Scotland again. And what was stupid about that was that he was 5 caps away from joining the Hall of Fame. Completely threw it all away. But, it is what it is. You move on and, you have some new experiences and now he's back. And also with a Rangers connection, you can't forget what that other...
I think he might have gone there. Anyway. Should we move on? Because I think we spoke about that one enough. Yeah, we'll move on, I think, and to this one, and it's this. Hold on a minute. Just getting to it, getting there. And it's the UEFA Comp. I'll change that. Fucking thing. Sorry, lads. But there it's Copenhagen 1, Chelsea 2 in the Conference League. Another tight one, close one. Could Chelsea still win this at home? I mean, they're 2-1 up, but they had some more. Could Copenhagen? Well, they're still in it, only 1 goal behind. So, what do you make of this one, Warren? This match?
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it?
I honestly didn't see it, but the results suggest that Chelsea, they obviously won. Copenhagen are a good side, but Chelsea, I think they're light years ahead of anyone else in this tournament. I'll be shocked if they don't win that tournament.
Mm.
So that's all I've really got to say about it, mate, to be frank. Because I can't really comment on it because I ain't seen it.
No, but I mean, I don't think it's that much that special, that Conference League. I don't think there's any real big teams left in it, other big teams. So you would think Chelsea have got a clear path out, maybe, to get there to the final.
Yeah.
I think they've been off and on, hot and cold this season, Chelsea, at times. They've either been really great at some times, they've had a great run, and then they've gone back to being shit. Really, and I think Cole Palmer's a great player. I think he's a superb player, but he's somehow got off the board a bit. I think I don't know what's happened there. It'll be up to you, BVB Sports. Yeah, Real Betis in it have won versus Real Madrid in the league. Yeah. They're a good team, Betis, I think. Very good. So, be up to you, my friend. Thanks for coming in. BVB
Betis,
Sports.
that's my Spanish team, Mr. B.
Oh, what is that? What, Real Betis?
Yeah, I love Betis. Mate, it's partly to do with my affection for Seville.
Yeah, they're a good team, aren't they, Betis? Yeah, very good. But also not in the same. Are they in the what do you call it? The La Liga one, where it's called the A? Is it La Liga A or whatever it's called?
They're in the top league of Spanish, the tier 1 of Spanish football.
Tier 1. Yeah, very good. Anyway, you back there, Manny? You can you hear us again? You on here? Is he there or not?
I can hear you clearly. Add me back. Good. I'm back. Yeah, for this one, I'm just going to briefly say that, Chelsea have no excuse. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, mate. Yeah, can hear you. Yeah, definitely hear you. Can you hear us?
I'm just going to briefly say that Chelsea have any excuse. They don't have any excuse for not winning this Europa League. I couldn't see the game either because obviously the other two Europa League ties featuring the English clubs were on. I don't think the Rangers tie was being screened, but I would have loved seeing Jose Mourinho, eat his hair out. Chelsea should make it all the way, and if they don't, then it's going to be a real black mark. It's not an easy tournament to win, as Aston Villa and Leicester can testify, but Chelsea, pride themselves on having the big European heritage. They need to make sure they make it count at Stamford Bridge, and I think they'll do that against Copenhagen and then go forward. And as for Rangers, I just want to say, they have a very happy knack of doing well in the Europa League. And if you want to talk about schizophrenic teams, I mean, Aston Villa are definitely schizophrenic this season. They've had some poor performances in the Premiership, but they've managed to make it count in the FA Cup and Champions League so far. And I've got to say, for certain teams like Villa, who haven't really been in the big time for a long time, that schizophrenia is something that endears them to me in a way. I do like watching them. I have nothing but respect for Unai Emery and love for Martinez, of course. And I think they're working really hard to get themselves back among the elite, and they're doing well. And Rangers, of course, they frustrate the hell out of you at times, but that's why they have their strong fan base. And I actually do think that I don't agree with what Mourinho says. I think, he will look back on this home defeat to Rangers as a missed opportunity, and he just knows that Rangers will be very determined to, put on a show at Ibrox and really make sure that the tie is, done and dusted. And I'm not a big fan of Mourinho. I think his best days are behind as a manager. And Ferguson obviously will be very determined to do as well as he can. So, so that's pretty much my thoughts on it. I was muted actually because I couldn't talk anymore, but that's just my 2 pence on it.
Yeah, no worries, mate. I mean, I think we know one team's definitely through, and that's Arsenal. Let's be honest. But I think those others are fairly close. But it'd be good to see all the British teams get through. Would you agree, lads? See them all get through, if that's possible.
To a larger or lesser degree, yeah. There's one in particular. I'm really happy to see them go through, but less said about that, the better, really, I think.
You mean apart from Rangers, you mean?
Yeah, exactly, mate.
Yeah, I know, mate, I know. But anyway, we're moving on to the Premier, and we've obviously got a lot of games over the weekend. So we will go through this fairly quick if we can. But it's obviously Forest and Man City is the first one. 12:30 tomorrow. What do you make of this one, lads?
No, I'll let Manny go.
You want to go, Manny? You there?
Yeah, thank you, Warren. And, the thing about Chris, is that obviously we've been watching them in the FA Cup as well, and they've been made to struggle by Exeter and Ipswich. The matches were taken to penalties, and I think Forest's greater quality ended up seeing them through. But for me, they're starting to lose a little bit of a momentum. And the thing about a lot of these teams that have great starts and continue them almost to the end is that sometime near the end they have a little bit of a dip. And I could see them losing their FA Cup quarterfinal to Brighton. And with Manchester City, their season by their standards has been absolutely appalling. For what it's worth, they still have the FA Cup to play for. But in addition, I think they've got a little bit of a carrot being dangled in front of them, and that is possibly overtaking Arsenal, which could happen. Don't rule that out. And obviously, with City, out of Europe very early and out of contention for the Premiership, maybe it's a case of and maybe they can start to play their game. And I think Forest are also going to start feeling the pressure. They know that they will want to maintain their position in the table and end with European qualification. Champions League would be beautiful for them, but even then that won't be guaranteed. And defensively, City is still going to be very vulnerable, as they showed against Plymouth Argyle in the FA Cup. But again, this is a team which has more than enough quality in the midfield and in attack to make sure they get the results they need. And I'm actually going to go for City to win this 2-1, and in the process do the double over Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, okay, Warren? Do you want to go for it, fella, and say what you think of this and the score and everything?
I think it's difficult to predict because obviously Man City haven't been playing well, but Forest have hit a bit of a difficult patch as well. So I'm going for a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, I think Forest has sort of hit a wall a bit slightly lately. Man City are on the way up again, I think. I would say they're on their way back slightly. And they can, as you say, overtake Arsenal. It's possible still. I'm going to go City to win. I think I'm going to go 2-0 City. I'm going. Yeah, 2-0. So we get on to the next one. That was fairly quick, wasn't it? Right, let's get to the next one. Brighton and Fulham. Two very good teams here. Very good teams. Probably looking to aiming for Europe, I'd say, to get into Europe. Who do you think is going to come out on top? Who wants to start with this one?
I'll let Manny go.
Yeah, go on, Manny.
Thank you once again, Warren. And these are two fine teams, but also in some ways very schizophrenic in a way because, they will also get some terrific results against some really big teams, but against teams they need to beat, they end up coming a bit of a cropper. And both of these teams, of course, as we know, are into the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. Fulham, of course, beating Manchester United with that brilliant result on penalties. Delighted for our 4 ex-Gunners, by the way. And as for Brighton, another ex-Gunner, Danny Welbeck, scoring the winner against Newcastle. And that's all you can say. And he's enjoying he has a little bit of a renaissance. I don't think he'll come back to play. Who wrote that for the BBC needs to have their head examined, literally. But this could probably be a game which I can see ending in a draw because neither team will definitely want to lose this game, especially, given that they're still in a decent position in the league with a chance to try to go a little bit higher. And both teams do play some very fine football at times. They've got some terrific footballers. That Japanese fella, Mitoma, is a quality player for Brighton. And for Fulham, they've got more than a few themselves, not just the ex-Gunners. Muniz, Raul Jimenez. Is it taking place at the Amex or Craven Cottage? I think it's at the Amex, isn't it, Steve?
Amex, yeah. Yeah, Brighton. Yeah, you still there?
Yeah, I think it's at the Amex.
Amex,
This is one particular game I can see a draw, a score draw from what I would say. I think there will be some goals in this, but you're going to see some fight. It's going to be a classic Premier League encounter. I'm going to go for a score draw. To wit, a Desmond, 2-2. And I'll just be back, and Warren can air his thoughts during that time.
So, yeah, he's gone for a Desmond. Right. What about you, Warren? What do you make of this one, mate?
Which one is it again?
It's Brighton and Fulham.
I think Brighton are just going to edge it, if I'm being honest. Don't ask me to explain why.
No,
I just think that last weekend, that cup time, might have taken it out of Brighton. But where is it again?
it's at the Amex, Brighton. It's at their ground.
Yeah, let's go for a 1-1 win. Because I think Brighton might be emotionally drained still after it. I know they've almost had a week to get over it, but you know, it can take it can drain people, something like that. So, but Fulham, they went through a bit of a tricky spell, but they seem to be. Who was it beat United anyway at Old Trafford? Was it Fulham or was it Brighton? It was Brighton, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think Fulham beat him in the FA Cup, didn't they?
Yeah. So, yeah, maybe Brighton then to edge it like 2-1 or something. Sorry, Mr. B, I was getting confused.
No.
Mixed up between the two of them.
It's cool. I'd probably go with that as well. I'm going with Brighton. I think they just win it. Over the ex-Arsenal FC players, isn't it? In that team.
Exactly. That's it. In a nutshell, mate.
Iwobi, ESR, Willian. Who else can we say? Anyone else? Leno.
You know.
Goes on.
Pro.
Yeah. Willian. Iwobi. Yeah. There's so many, but they seem to take all your best players, don't they? Well, I don't think Iwobi was that great. Was he at Arsenal, or was he okay?
He was all right. I wouldn't say he was fantastic. It was much better playing for his country than he was playing for Arsenal. I remember, he went off on international duty once for Nigeria, and he absolutely destroyed Argentina, apparently. But we never saw a performance like that from him at Arsenal. Maybe that was to do with the tactics of the manager. I don't know, but you know, yeah, I just don't, mate. It's a bit baffling, really.
Yeah, we know ESR is quality, and Arteta ruined him, really. I think again, and he's doing well at Fulham, and Leno, I think he's a decent keeper still. I do rate Leno; he's quite good. And William was shit though, wasn't he? Really at Arsenal, or wasn't he given a chance? Do you think there properly, or I don't know? He wasn't that great, was he? So
no, he wasn't. But I think that was more to do with Arteta than anything else, mate. Because my big thing is about Arteta is I just don't trust him with coaching the players. I'm not convinced that he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I just don't, because he's proven time and time again that he ain't got a fucking clue what's going on. They're all these players, they can't all be bad players, because none of them, not one of them, has improved under him. You look at it.
Saka. He hasn't improved Saka, has he? He's just got better on his own, hasn't he? It's not to do with Arteta, is it?
Well, no, I don't think he necessarily has, mate. I just think he's he's the same standard as what he was when he came into the team. Do you know what I mean? And if you look at, all the others in that team, then I just don't think there's any difference between any of them. Right? They're not improved. Martinelli's gone backwards. Tierney regressed. Right? How one player that is improved under his watch? I think Saliba's got worse. I just can't think of one that has improved. I think that's damning.
Yeah, I pretty much agree there, Warren. Yeah. What about you, Manny? Do you think the same? Do you agree with that?
Oh, I absolutely agree. And it's really galling how, we see a number of these ex-Gunners who stagnate at Arsenal, go on to other clubs and do really well. A lot of cynics will probably say, well, these players have found their level. They're not good enough for Arsenal, but they can thrive away from the limelight and social media, fans and so forth. But I'm going to disagree and say, Warren's got it spot on. The coaching under Arteta is absolutely awful. And especially in the case of someone like Emile Smith-Rowe, had he not left Arsenal, he rotted to death, literally. And Martinelli, among others, need to walk away from Arsenal and join clubs where, they'll be working with better, more experienced coaches that can bring out the best in them. And I didn't like Leno at Arsenal. I thought he was just a shot stopper, but who didn't have very good decision making and was prone to some really stupid mistakes. But at Fulham, he's improved magnificently. And Willian has also found something like his best after moving to West London. Iwobi has now become an important player there. He wasn't quite able to make the grade at Arsenal. So it's not a case of, players finding their down from Arsenal. I think they escape Arsenal and move somewhere where their best is encouraged to come out with better coaches. So, I think Fulham also have a very good chance of winning the season on high with an FA Cup win. And I'd love Aston Villa to win it, but if they don't win, I think Fulham will be a very worthy winner. And I think we can all agree ABC. Easy as 1, 2, 3. Anyone but.
Yeah. Speaking of Jacko, he was poor again for Chelsea, wasn't he, last night? But anyway, anyway, we move on, guys, and we're on to Palace and Ipswich now. And Palace are on quite good form, actually. They're going very well. Ipswich, of course, still in trouble down there. They really need some wins, need some points on the board. But I would think Palace would come out on top here, I would say. I'm going for a 3-1 Palace here. What about you, Warren, or Manny? What's the go? Do you want to go, Manny, in this one?
I'll just say one sentence. You've read my mind. 3-1.
Right. What about you, Warren?
Yeah, I think it'll be a comfortable win for Palace. I can't really argue with either of you about that one. I'm not sure Ipswich will even score, to be frank.
I'll give them a consolation. I think they could. I mean, I just think that Liam Delap is quality. He could score maybe. Or it's the other guy that scores, Hutchinson. I think he gets some goals for them. So
what about the fella that got injured against the Scum last weekend? Is he all right?
What for Ipswich?
The Palace player that got fucking.
Oh right, Mateta. Yeah. I think he's okay, isn't he? I think he got checked out of hospital, so I know he's sort of on the mend. I think. Obviously, it's going to take a little while, isn't it? You don't just get over that straight away, do you? You had the bloody studs in your head, didn't you? And cut your hair off or whatever.
It's pretty likely that he's not going to be available for selection this weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, he had 24 stitches, didn't he?
Yeah, well, he ain't going to be playing this weekend, that's for sure. Not if he's had 24 stitches. See, this is the thing. I just wanted to say something about this. When it is clear that a player has deliberately gone out of their way to injure another opponent, that person should be suspended for as long as it takes the other one to come back.
Mm. Well,
that's what I think. I would like to
I'll
see
be back,
that.
gentlemen.
So, in a situation that we had last weekend, where that goalkeeper deliberately took that fella out, and like they say he's out for 6 games through injury, the player who inflicted that injury on him should also be suspended for 6 games.
Well, yeah.
That's my feeling on it.
I'd say longer, mate. I'd fine him and everything as well. Fine him.
Yeah, no, fine him as well. But as a minimum, they should be out for as long as the player that they've deliberately injured. If it's an accident, then yeah, no, I understand that. And, you know, accidents happen. But when they've deliberately gone out of their way to injure and maim someone, they should be, as a minimum, the minimum term that they should be suspended for is the amount of time that fella is injured for and not able to play.
Yeah, but he's Millwall, wasn't it? He's a Millwall keeper, so fucking scum, mate. Arseholes, thugs, fucking lot of them.
Well, you know, you're dealing with a special situation there, I know, but you know what I mean? I have to be careful because the area I live in, there's quite a few of them. So
yeah, be careful there, mate. Yeah, be very careful. But bloody hooligans, mate, nutters, half of them. But yeah, I think hopefully he'll get back fairly soon. I don't know when. Might be by the end of the season. Who knows? But they'll probably have old Eddie. Your defence is in trouble. Yeah, fucking hell. Oh, fucking hell, mate. Oh, I'm sure Ipswich are shaking in their boots, aren't they, at the back with him there? Bloody hell. But no, but I think Palace will definitely win it. And you got likes of Eze and all that, you know, and other players they got. Class there. Wharton, I think Wharton, he could get back in the England team, Wharton. They're talking about back in the England squad.
Sorry, can I just tell you a quick story?
Yeah,
it's
go on,
quite
mate.
Funny. Right, short one. You know Ray Winston?
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah, he's got an Instagram account, right?
Oh, Winston, yeah, Ray Winston, yeah.
He's brilliant. I love it. He comes on and he posts stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then during the Euros, he was kicking off about Southgate and the tactics and all the rest of it. Some fella put this post in, like having a go at Winston and threatening him, right?
Oh.
Saying, you're out of order. I'm going to come and do this and that. Hey, Winston answered him. Do you know what he said?
Yeah, what?
He goes, oh, I'm fucking shitting myself. I just thought it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he's as hard as they come, mate. Hard as nails, that Winston.
Proper fucking old school geezer. Do you know what I mean? I just loved it. I thought, yeah, go on, Ray, you tell him, son.
Well, I remember that Scum. Do you remember him in that Scum?
Yeah, brilliant film. Yeah, no, sorry, Steve. That was me going off at a tangent, but I think it's interesting, given the conversation we just had about that Palace goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Palace striker, sorry.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, I think they're definitely winning here, 3-1 Palace all day long. And we'll move on to the next one, which will be Liverpool and Southampton. A pretty easy one for Liverpool, surely. Everyone won at Southampton. They're the whipping boys, let's be honest. They should get a few here, Liverpool. I'm going for 5-0 Liverpool, I'm going here.
Yeah, 100%, mate. I 100% agree.
4-1 for me.
Southampton have already gone. I think they're as good as relegated. I just can't see them getting out of it.
Yeah. Well, they are the whipping boys. Everyone's smashed them, haven't they? Whoever's played them, pretty much. So, you know, even we did. Yeah, and sometimes we struggled to get loads of goals, but we found it easy there. So, but yeah, So easy. So you said, what did you say, Manny? 4-1, Liverpool.
Yep.
And what, you going 5-0 as well, Warren? With
Yeah.
that one?
5, maybe even 6. I don't know. Because that Southampton team is one of the worst Premier League sides I think I've ever seen. They are shocking.
They definitely are. And we come to the 5:30 game, which is the Bees against Aston Villa.
Yeah, mate. I think you might have bitten off more than you can chew with that one. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Oh, yeah, I know, mate. I know. But I don't know. I am a bit worried. I'm a bit worried about this one, Warren, because, you know, Villa are a good team, aren't they? You know,
They've got a good manager. That's the thing.
Emery,
Unai.
All that.
It's the Unai factor, isn't it? But, you know, they've had a good result in Europe during the week, right? They might be a bit of overhang from that. They might be a bit tired.
Yeah,
I've got a feeling that your home form is gonna start to turn, and I think it could start this weekend against Villa. I'm going for a 2-1 win for the Bees.
Yeah, I bet I'm going to record that, and I hope you don't scupper us there, mate. And you know, but no, I hope so, Warren. I'm hoping we'll win it, but you know, I'm going to clip that. No, I won't. I'm going to go. I think we could, and I hate to say this because it could blow up in my face. We could beat Villa, but then we know what Watkins has done to us. He's ungrateful little shit, coming back to beat always score against us. You know, I could add him to my list of ones that always score against us. That you know.
How's his relationship with the Bees fans when he comes back? Is there a mutual respect, or do people hate him?
They like him still, mate. I think they still like him. I think he had great respect when he was with us. He was, you know, he scored plenty of goals, as you know, in the Championship and whatever when he was with us. So I think they do still love him. But apart from when he scores against us, fuck's sake, arsehole. When he does that, I can't stand it. But he had that thing with the fan, didn't he? You know, did you see that thing with the fan, the Bees fan? Was giving him all grief behind the goal when he was there, and he went into the net like that, and he was having a go at that supporter. And
this is something you need to be careful about.
Yeah, it was one fan.
If I'd been his manager, I would have called him into the office after that game and said, "Mate, you need to like be careful," because he could have sparked. Albeit he was only having to go back, but he could have sparked a riot. Imagine he'd done that at the Den. What would have happened? Do you know what I mean?
That would have kicked off.
No, I think he'd been playing for West Ham and they were playing Millwall at the Den. It could have like really kicked off really badly.
I mean, it'd been like Ray Winston and that bloke, I think.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. So I think I would have called him into the office and said, because, you know, you can't behave like that. I would have fined him and said, no, you mustn't react to fans, no matter how provoked you feel. Just walk away. Don't rise to the bait. And I know it's like frustrating and I know it's annoying and all of that, but you can't. And, you know, because what could have happened could have been horrific. Do you know what I mean? And people could have been seriously injured and whatnot. So no. But I think I keep going back to that game that I saw that Friday night when played Portsmouth or the other team right down the bottom.
Well, you were Plymouth.
No, a league game, and you played another team that's right down the bottom of the Premier League.
Oh, Southampton. Yeah.
Yeah, away, and you absolutely battered them.
Yeah,
it was Leicester. It was Leicester.
Oh, sorry, Leicester. Yeah.
You were 3-0 up at half time, and no word of a lie, Steve. It could have been 5. right? If you go into that game with the same intensity against Villa, I think you're going to cause them problems.
It was away though.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. My mate's a massive rugby fan, and he just doesn't get this home and away thing. I've tried to explain it to him several times, and he said, "Yeah, but it's a football pitch. What's the issue?" And I said, "Well, you ain't got like 40,000, 50,000 people breathing down your neck, like wanting to kill you if you score against them. It's intimidating." But he don't get it. He just thinks, well, you should be fucking man enough to just put up with it and get on with it. Do you know what I mean? And I get it. I do understand it. But I think if you go into that game against Villa with the same intensity and aggression that you showed in that first half against Leicester, I think you'll give them problems. And the thing is, as well, you've got attacking players that can damage anyone.
By my Dan's got
seriously, mate. Some of your attacking players could get into any side in the Premier League. I'd take them at Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? I'd put them in the team ahead of any of our attackers.
Well, fuck off.
I think they would get into most other teams in the Premier League. Huh?
You're not having a Warren. Fuck off.
No, but you know what I mean. Like,
I know.
I think they're decent, and I think you could cause them problems. But it's whether they can go into that game with the confidence and self-belief that they can do it at home, because I think that's part of the problem. I think there may be a self-confidence issue now because this like poor run of form at home has gone on for a while. That, you know, it might be difficult for them to get out of it. But if they do, I think it could turn this weekend. You get a win against Villa, and I think you're going to really kick on. And I still think that, and I've said this to you before, that a European space isn't out of the question.
Well, I think we're 2 or 3 points behind Villa. So if we win there, we'll probably go level or above. I think might go above. I don't know. I think we're level maybe. So we're actually not far away from them. But I'm going to go for a few goals, because the thing is, we got Flecken still in goal. Just remember that. Flecken in goal. So I'm going to...
The thing is, you're getting defensive reinforcements coming back soon.
Well, yeah. Soon.
Like, Aaron Hickey for one.
Yeah, in April, I think he's back. I think it's April. Yeah. Rico Henry, not far away, I think, as well. So, yeah. But I think there will be a few goals here, sadly, because of Flecken, and I'm going to say 3-2 to the Bees. I'm going to go for us to win. I'm going to go. That's it. I'm going for it. 3-2 to the Bees.
I'll go 2-1 to Bees.
What about you, Manny?
Well, here's the thing. This season, we've seen that whenever Aston Villa have had a midweek European game, they've normally flattered to deceive in the weekend in the Premiership. And I've also said that given some of their pretty poor results, I don't believe that they will qualify for Europe based on their league position, because they've taken more opportunities to climb higher in the table and secure, that Premiership position, and they haven't been able to do that. But having said that, they are having some players coming back. I think Pau Torres was on the bench in Belgium. They could possibly have Ross Barkley back before the end of the season, a few coming back. I'm afraid to say this, Steve, but I'm going to have to burst your bubble and say that the best I can predict is a 2-2 draw, and that's what I'm going for. Because there are going to be goals in this game. Aston Villa are still very shaky defensive. And against Mbeumo and Wissa and a few others, I think they could struggle if they don't get their lines right. And let's also not forget another XB, Ezri Konsa, coming back to the G-Tech. He will certainly have a big role to play, whether it's central defence or right back. And they're going to have to, Villa are just going to have to tighten up their defensive line and avoid making those stupid mistakes. But it is going to be wonderful to see how Mbeumo square up against Asensio, Rashford, Watkins, and company. Rodgers as well. I mentioned. I think I did. I don't know. Actually, I don't know if I did.
Well, you just
Yeah, this is going to be a very entertaining game, and I think there will be goals. No clean sheet for either Flecken or Emi Martinez, but a 2-2 draw is the best that I can go for, and that's going to be a bad result either against a team who still has, for what it's worth, aspirations of getting into the Champions League themselves. But this is an opportunity to get some points off them, Villa, and I think you should take it. If you don't, you might look back on this and regret it.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope we do, mate. I hope we do. But anyway, I'll do a proper preview, I should say. I might do that later on, possibly today or earlier tomorrow or something before the game. So, but anyway, we move on to this one, gents, and it's Wolves and Everton. Well, Wolves still in the shit down there. Everton going fairly well, actually. Going quite well in the league, aren't they? What do you think of this one? What are you going to go for this one, Warren, to start here?
I'm going for a 1-1 draw. Just because Wolves' form has picked up.
But no Cunha. Cunha's missing. He'll be missing.
Well,
Cunha.
Yeah. You drop off the H and the A and put a T on the end, you'd get what I think about him.
Yeah. I agree, mate.
I can't stand him. I do not want him anywhere near Arsenal. I know he's been linked to Arsenal. I can't stand him. I think Moyes is doing a brilliant job, and it wouldn't surprise me if Everton went there and won. It really wouldn't. But like I said, Wolves have improved of late, so it could be a really, really tight, difficult game, and that's why I'm going for a 1-1 draw.
I'm going to go 2-1 Everton, you know. I'm going them to win. What about you, Manny?
I think Warren's read my mind. I'm going for a 1-1 draw. Neither team are going to want to give an inch, and I definitely don't think Vitor Pereira will want to lose this particular game after that. I think they were pipped, of course, by Bournemouth in the fifth round of the FA Cup, and I think they're going to want to try and ensure they finish on a high. In fact, both teams have lost to Bournemouth, actually, in the FA Cup. This should be a 1-1 draw. Neither team's going to want to give an inch, but I wouldn't be surprised if one moment of quality ends up winning it. But 1-1 draw, same as Warren.
Right, and we move on to Sunday's games now. Chelsea and Leicester. Well, Leicester are all but going as well, aren't they? At the bottom there, they're second from bottom, I think. Yeah. I think they're pretty much down as well, aren't they? So I think Chelsea, you'd think win this all the way, really?
Yeah, I mean, don't be surprised, though, if something mad happens, because Chelsea's form, their form is they're one of the most unpredictable sides in the Premier League. Like, do you know, they're just like, they are a nightmare. 1 minute they can be fine, the next minute it's an absolute nightmare for their supporters. But I'm going for Chelsea to win 2-1, but I would not be surprised to see Leicester go there and get a point. Just like something crazy, like getting a point, because that's how Chelsea are. They you never know how they're going to perform. They, 1 week they'll be fine, and then the next week they're dreadful. I mean, a while ago I saw them play Shamrock Rovers in the Conference League, and the first half they were lucky not to be behind. Shamrock Rovers had a player as a young striker. He's about 18, 19, I think. He was there on loan from Celtic, and he was within a toe's distance away from giving Rovers the lead at Stamford Bridge. But second half, they just transformed themselves, Chelsea, and they ended up winning the game 5-1 or something. But like the first half, they were struggling. They really were. Shamrock Rovers could have been in front. So that's what the reason I've said that is because it highlights how indifferent their form is, how up and down they are. So, like I said, it would not surprise me if Leicester went there and got a win, but I'm going for a 1-1 draw. Sorry, a 2-1 win to Chelsea.
1-1 draw. Right, okay.
Talking nonsense.
No, don't worry, mate. No, I'm going 3-0 Chelsea for this one. How about? I think they know too much for Leicester still. I do. I just really do. They've got too much better players than them. What about you, Manny?
I'm going to be very surprised if Leicester get anything. I think they're just under Van Nistelrooy. They're just currently they had some initial hope and optimism, but they just look demoralised and completely out of sorts. And if Chelsea do not get anything from this game, it will be a real black mark for them as well. And of course, there's the Maresca factor coming up against Leicester. He will want to win. I know that Leicester are going to want to try and put one over on their old boss, but I cannot see it happening. 3-1.
Right. Well, we're all going for Chelsea, but we go to this one, Spurs and Bournemouth. Well, what Spurs are going to turn up at their own ground? Do we know? I think Bournemouth are in great form still, pretty much. They got through in the FA Cup as well. Could there be a Bournemouth win here, Manny, for the Cherries, you know? Could they get a win there?
I'm going for a Bournemouth win. Definitely. Bournemouth are still continuing to play some very good football, and they had that much of a dip like Forest have. Spurs, we talk about how schizophrenic they are, but in addition, even with some of the players coming back, I really think the pressure is going to be on them to try to get a result from this game, given how things didn't go very well for them when they went to the Vitality Stadium. Dominic Solanke did not enjoy a good return to his old stomping ground, and given that he limped off injured last night against Alkmaar, I'll be very surprised if he has any involvement in the game at all. And I think it's going to be on a Sunday, right? For me, Bournemouth, they're just amazing. Kluivert's in red hot form. Everyone's working together as a team. The football there is amazing. 2-1 to the Cherries. And if memory serves me right, I do believe they beat Spurs on their home at the Tottenham Stadium last time around. So they're developing a very happy knack of giving big teams a bloody nose.
Yeah. And you don't know what you're going to get from Spurs, so it could easily win there, Bournemouth, myself. What are you going to go for here, Warren? What score?
I'm going for a 2-0 win for the Cherries.
I
mean, I know their form hasn't been as good of late as it was earlier in the season, but I think Tottenham, especially on the back of their European exploits, I don't know. I just think the Bournemouth manager is really smart and is a really good coach. I just can't see Spurs winning it.
No. I'm going to go with you, chaps, and I'm going to go a hat trick here, and I'm going to say 2-1 Bournemouth. I'll go there. So got them all to win, and now we move on to your game against United at Old Trafford. What are we going for here, gents? You think United will turn up and do well here? You said that before. Will they want to produce something against Arsenal again?
100%. I'm going for a 0-0.
No? Draw a blank, eh?
Yeah, well, the thing is, it doesn't matter how badly United are playing, they will always turn up when they're playing Arsenal. They always do. Like, for as long as I can remember, this has always happened.
Mm.
And they are, it happens with annoying irregularity, where we go up there full of confidence. They've been piss poor for weeks and weeks and weeks. We've been banging in goals left, right, and centre, and then we'll go up there and get turned over. It just always happens, right? Whether it be because they were better tactically set up, whether it's because Arsenal just froze, whether it's because of Ferguson's cheating, which was most of the time, intimidating referees, and he's cheating and all the rest of it, like looking at the watch all the time, tapping his watch, like making comments in the press about referees and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It used to happen all, and this is why I say 90% of the trophies that man won at Manchester United, he did it by cheating. 100%. Like, it is not allowed. You're not allowed to do half the stuff that he did. But because it was him, he got away with it. He did it at Aberdeen as well, right? He would get under people's skin and he would intimidate people and stuff. The man should have been done for bringing the game into disrepute many times, but he got away with it because it's him. Sorry, no. I've got no fucking respect for that. Absolute bell end. I could use much stronger language, but one, I really don't want to, Steve, because it's your channel. And the other stuff, the things I'd really like to say about him, most of the people watching this are English. They wouldn't really understand what I was going on about. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not going to say it. But that man, no, I'm sorry. No. I just got no respect for the man. And
I don't blame you, mate.
no, I can't stand him. But I think this game is going to be a 0-0 because both of them are coming back from European exploits, and it's like Arsenal has struggled for so long to turn up and put in a performance this season, and the history of this fixture suggests to me that Arsenal will struggle this weekend, and I can see it being a 0-0.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to say to that, Manny? Do you agree? Or do you think there will be some goals here?
You're talking about an Arsenal team that put PSV to the sword, and we're talking about a Manchester United team whose home form has been absolutely dismal this season. If Arsenal do not get a win, it will be shameful. If we don't break our hoodoo, it will be shameful. And I'll tell you what, there's currently nothing in this Manchester United team that suggests to me that they will be capable this season of, turning it around. And I realize, of course, that this might come back to bite me on my rear end. But, I just think that at this particular time, we're certainly not going to win the league. But there's no way that we can go to Old Trafford with that team in disarray and not come away with the 3 points. But I'm going to say that it will be tight. They're going to fight hard. They will, score. But we should have enough to eke out a 2-1 win and get revenge for that horrific FA Cup display, where I think it's fair to say that Kai Havertz and David Raya pretty much put themselves into my black book almost permanently, I would say. Disgusting from both of them, it has to be said. And Steve, we have one match left. Who's playing? Is it West Ham and Newcastle, or who is it?
Yeah, I'll just give my thoughts on this quickly, Manny, before we go to that. I just think that... Sorry, mate? Yeah. I think...
No, go ahead.
No, I think United had this... Arsenal had this habit of going to teams and winning, supposed to be beating these teams they're supposed to win against, and they don't. The likes of West Ham, who they should have beaten, when Liverpool cocked up a bit, they lost points. They drew or lost or something? They drew, didn't they, I think?
I believe they
did. Yeah. and then so you should have had that chance to beat, say, West Ham. Okay, West Ham are a good team. We know that. They're going okay under par. But really, they're a team you should be beating. And you fucked it up against them. And I think you could do that possibly here against United. As Warren says, United will probably turn up against Arsenal and do something. And I think that could well happen here. And I know you two aren't going to like this, but I'm going for a United win here. I'm sorry to say, but I'm going 2-1 United for this one.
I agree with you, Steve.
That's your opinion, mate. That's your opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
And what's the last match we've got? Because I've got to go now, so I'll just give my prediction quickly, yeah?
Yeah, hold on. Warren, what was you going to say there, mate?
No, I just saying I can see it happening because it's happened so many times in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, once again, Steve, I've lost my audio. So I'll give my quick prediction for this one.
Okay.
I think this is going to end up in a 2-2 draw because, again, Newcastle have started to dip a bit and West Ham are still doing well under Potter, but they're going to be up against a Newcastle side determined to arrest the slide and prepare well for the League Cup final. And I think there will be goals in this. I think both teams are capable of playing some very good football. But I see a 2-2 draw here. And I will have to go because my audio's let me down again, but I also got some stuff to do. Thanks a lot, Steve. Thanks, Warren, for coming on and, contributing. And it's always wonderful to hear whatever stories you have to tell. And big up to everyone in the chat. I'll see you all very soon. And good luck to you, Steve, this weekend. Come on, the Bees. Up the Gunners, as always. And I'll see you all soon. Take care, everyone.
Yeah. Cheers, mate. Bye. Yeah. Anyway, sorry about that, mate. What are you going for with this one, mate? What were you going to say about this one, Warren?
Well, this one is I don't know. I think I'm going to have to say 2-1 win for Newcastle. I mean, West Ham have improved under Graham Potter. They have, but I don't know. It's difficult, really. It's a tricky one, but I just think Newcastle might have a bit too much for them.
Yeah, I probably agree there. I think Newcastle, okay, they're a little bit in and out at the moment. They lost the other day, I think. They lost in the, was it in the Premier they lost or something, or FA Cup or whatever? FA Cup, probably. I know they lost there. So, who knows with them. But I would still think they might just have a bit too much of West Ham, Newcastle, when you think of what they got, Isaac and all that. Guimaraes, Murphy. Well, I think Gordon will be suspended, wouldn't he? They've got, who else have they got there? Barnes to come in. They got Wilson. They got Joel Linton. They've got so many they could bring in, haven't they, that are probably a bit better than West Ham, some of theirs. But you say West Ham, you've got Bowen, Paqueta, Kudus, some decent players there as well. So I might actually go for a draw here, Warren. I'm going to go 2-2.
Fair enough. I can see it being a 2-2. I can. So fair play to you, mate.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm going for. And that was the last game. That was Monday, of course, the last one. So we got through it at last. But yeah, no, it was good stream again. And thanks for coming on, Warren, and obviously Manny as well. But we will just thank the people in the live chat as well, Luca and BVB Sports, of course. Thanks to all you coming in. Cheers, guys. That's brilliant. Do you want to shout your socials out, Warren, before we bounce, mate?
Okay, yeah, thanks, Steve. You can find me on Instagram. It's Warren's Team Talk, as it says there in the bottom of the top, bottom left-hand side, I think it is, bottom right-hand side where my name is. And you can also find me on X and also Blue Sky and Facebook. You can find me on there, and there's also the YouTube channel. Unfortunately, I'm not uploading stuff at the minute. There's other stuff that I need to focus on, unfortunately. But thank you, Mr. B. Soon as I've got everything sorted out with this, then I'll be back. But at the moment, I just haven't got time to be doing it, to be frank. I need to focus on this other stuff because it's really important. But yeah, thanks for having me on, Steve. It's been an absolute pleasure as usual. Anyone who hasn't subscribed to Steve yet on his Mr. B Hive of Football chat, and also his other cricket channel, which is Mr. B Hive of Cricket Chat, is it, Steve? Or Mr. B Chats England Cricket? Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely, I love that cricket channel. It's superb.
Right.
You talk a lot of sense. It makes perfect sense to me. Everything you're saying about English cricket. So anyone who's a cricket fan who's watching this, get yourself over there. Do yourself a favour and get involved in these streams and whatnot. Because if you're not and you're a cricket fan, you're missing out. You really are. Because the man is passionate about English cricket.
Yeah, shame that our players aren't passionate, mate, Warren. They're wankers, mate. They're useless, as far as I'm concerned.
See, that's why I put that comment in the group chat this morning. You saw it, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
You know, these players, if they don't like what this man is saying, they need to off. You know what I mean? The guy's got an elite mentality.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sorry, but if they don't like it, then they shouldn't be allowed to play for the country. That's my opinion.
A shame. They should be ashamed of what they're doing at the moment, England players.
Yeah.
Really ashamed.
It's not acceptable.
No, I hate it, mate. I'm fed up with them. They can fuck off as far as I'm concerned, half of them. Wankers. Can't stand them.
Because, I'm sorry, for me, Joe Root stands on his own.
Yeah. Top bloke.
Yeah, he stands on his own. He's like head and shoulders, for me, the best player in that team. And when he does hang up his bat and his gloves and all of these, like, shin pads or whatever you want to call it, they need to make sure they get him involved with the development of the sport, the coaching, all of it. This has been the problem with English cricket in the past, in my opinion. Too many ex-players have just been allowed to drift away out of the game. Do you know, there's another fella, like, I don't want to turn this into a cricket stream for you, mate, but I want to have my say about Phil Tufnell, because I love the fella. He's exactly the sort of fella that should be involved. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a number of them. Why aren't they involved? I just don't understand it. He's
a character as well, Tuffers. You know, I think he'd be great with them. You know, he's been with them, for years. He's okay. It's a different team now. It's different players now, but he knows them inside out, and like Vaughan as well, and Peterson.
He knows what it's like to go and play overseas. Like going to the cauldron of the SCG or the MCG when you've got 80,000 people wanting to kill you, and you've got to play cricket in that environment. Like Steve, the Aussie Gooner has told me that he's seen like people at that fucking ground, fans like invading the pitch to attack opposition players. Like he's seen it kick off. Right?
Yeah,
you've got to be able to cope with that sort of environment, right? And I honestly, the snowflakes that they've got in that team at the moment, they wouldn't cope, and they would just fall apart. And that's why I'm saying to you, mate, I'm dreading that Ashes series because I think it's going to be, unless something changes dramatically, it's going to be another humiliation. and it could be one of the worst ever.
Mm.
You know, for sure it's going to be a 5-0, right? But it could be that I'm predicting at least 1 or 2 defeats by an innings or more.
Well, we have lost there before by that 5-0. We've done that before, and it's wasn't the first time. You know, they always said, "Oh, McGrath," and that always just say, "We're beating 5-0. We're beating England 5-0." I thought, yeah, I think they will. I agreed with you.
Do you know what I mean? Because who's going to stop them? The only one who's capable of putting up a fight is Joe Root. The rest of them are shit.
Yeah.
And it's not just the talent, whether they can bowl or can bat well. It's what's going on up here. They haven't got the cojones to go in there and put up a fight. Do you know, if it was me, I'd be going into that game, well, fucking come on then, let's fucking give it to them.
Yeah.
If we lose, at least we fucking had a go.
Yeah.
Some of these people, they don't even want to have a go.
Fucking grow a pair, and get in there.
I remember years ago, this is one of my stories, right? I was at school, right? And I was playing football with my mates, right? And these group of lads, right, the local school thugs, turned up and challenged me and my mates to a game of football, right?
Yeah.
And I was up for it. The rest of them didn't want to know. I was going, no, I ain't fucking playing that lot. I was going, no, come on, fucking let's have a go. All right? Because of the attitude I had, I got the respect of the thugs. They respected me and never had any trouble with any of them after that because I wanted to put up a fucking fight. Right? The rest of them, they were fucking shit scared and didn't want to know. I just fucking went, no, I'm not fucking having this. They ain't intimidating me. Do you know? But this is the attitude, mate. This is what I want to see. They go to the MCG or they go to wherever and fucking go, oh, come on then. Let's be having you. You know what I mean? But they won't. They will just go, oh, it's the MCG. What are we going to do? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, this is going to find out the men from the boys, isn't it, when they go there, isn't it? I'll tell you. It really
exactly
is.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. This was a football stream, by the way, guys, so it's not another
cricket one. But it just annoys me, Steve, because I don't think it's something that's limited to cricket. I think it's in football. I think it's tennis. It's rugby. I'm not so much about the rugby because I think that the British and Irish Lions are likely to have a right go. But the rest of it is just this mentality. It's endemic in all of British society. It is. Like medals for finishing last in a race and all this carry on. No, that's got to stop.
No, and Australia wouldn't settle for that, would they?
No.
You see that bloke, what's it, Ian Healy? He was some player, wicket keeper. You see him in that group chat, that guy said about that bloke, about him, the Aussie guy, Cooper Connolly, that played against and he let it all go for a maiden. Was it a 9-ball, 6-ball maiden, whatever, something. And he let them all go. He didn't score off any of the shots, any of the balls. And Ian Healy said, "No, I'm not happy with that. I see that, and he wasn't happy." And that's what the mentality you should have. You know.
No, exactly.
Because
this part, I really, to be honest with you, Steve, I'm going to say something, and it's going to upset a few people, right? I do not like the Americans. I don't. I just think the way that I don't like their politics. I don't like the way the country's set up. I think it's wrong, right? But the thing I do like is their attitude to sport.
Yeah, they're winners. They want to be winners.
Exactly. I do. Like, you know, especially like baseball and people like Babe Ruth. And there's a film out. I remember seeing a film about him. Babe Ruth, mate, what a fucking player he was.
He's a big guy though as well when he quite big.
Huge. Yeah, proper huge geezer, right?
Mm.
But this geezer, I remember seeing this film and he was fucking whack. Do you know what I mean? A proper player. Do you know? But he had the mentality.
Mm.
You know, and they do have the mentality. They want to win. Like they will not tolerate second. Which is why I'm surprised. I get surprised by the way these fucking owners carry on at Arsenal. They just don't care. This is the thing, and they just But that's a subject for another stream.
Yeah, we do that another time, Warren, for another stream, mate. Yeah. But anyway,
it's been a great stream, mate. Thank you so much for doing it.
Yeah, no worries.
Going nearly 2.5 hours now, mate.
Yeah, we're not doing 4 hours. Fuck that. I'm not doing that. But yeah, follow me on Insta at Mr. B for Life 182 and subscribe to Mr. B Hive Football Chat and Mr. B Chats England Cricket, and keep smashing those likes and subbing. That'd be great. Thank you guys, because still on 112, I think, for the football one and 27 for the cricket. So want to get those up, guys? Come on, let's do that. You know,
how
if
many
you need
for the cricket, Steve?
27 subs. That's it.
It's criminal. Fuck's sake, come on, people. Just give the man a fucking sub. It don't cost you anything. You know, it's like all you have to do is press the button. That's it. Simple. Come on.
You're into your cricket. You want to see people chatting. Well, we think we are experts, but we might know a little bit about the cricket. You know, come and check it out and sub. You know, and see what you're missing. You know, at the moment. So, you know, please come and do that. You know.
Get involved as well about chatting about the cricket. So what I don't understand is why aren't all these people who are in that group chat subscribe to your channel? Because they're clearly cricket fans. So why aren't they watching your streams? Why aren't they subscribed? I don't understand it.
I don't know either, mate. But I know there are some that are sub, but they just can't get on. You know, obviously Indian people. It's in a different country, isn't it? It's in a different region. They can't do it at certain times.
But why? That's the thing I like about YouTube. It's got no fucking boundaries.
No, it's not that. It's just the regions, isn't it? They can't. It's different time zones, isn't it?
Okay.
You know, so if I'm doing one, say if I'm doing one at say 1 in the afternoon, it'd probably be nearly 8 o'clock there or something like that.
So how far ahead are they of us?
I think, is it 5-6 hours, is it? Or more? Maybe 7. I know it's quite a bit, I think.
I think they are quite a bit, because I remember when I used to wake up in the morning, I used to put Test Match Special on the radio, because I really enjoy listening to it on the radio. Probably even more so than watching it on TV. Right, I don't know why it is, but I do. And I remember listening recently to the Test series where we went out to Pakistan recently. And we slapped them all over the place, beat them really badly, right?
Yeah, but he's only Pakistan, Warren. I wouldn't read too much. He's only Pakistan. I wouldn't read that too much into that. Pakistan on.
It wouldn't happen now.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It was a good couple of years ago now, to be fair. But yeah, that was early morning. It was like I was waking up about 6, and the game was like mid session, I think. So,
but it's only Pakistan. They're not the team they were actually, mate. So I wouldn't read too much into that. But
they still wouldn't win now, though, Steve, would they? England against Pakistan?
Probably not. No, probably not. But anyway, guys, I might be back later. It depends if I might just go down. To be honest, I'm a bit knackered now, a bit shattered. with all that. But if I do come back later, it'll be obviously the Bees later on. You know, the Bees, so the preview. So, but if not, well, I might be doing. I'm doing a prediction show later on someone else, Oris stream, prediction stream. So that'll be about 8 o'clock. So if I'm not on for the Bees one, I'll be doing that. But I might do the Bees one earlier tomorrow, the Bees preview against Villa. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching once again. And I'm afraid we're out of here. We're going to bounce, guys. So cheers, guys. Everyone, thank you. Bye. Cheers.